I think this is one of the last videos that I'm going to be making on silver for a while until we see the move, which I think is coming, because I've been looking at the gold to silver ratio. I kind of use it as an indicator to see when there's a high probability of a move, and I'll explain to you why that is now. If you look below here, this is the gold to silver ratio, and you can see that silver versus gold is actually very undervalued, and what that means is it takes a lot of silver to buy a single ounce of gold, and we haven't been at this point, at least as far back as the chart goes. We were almost 84 ounces of silver per ounce of gold, and yeah, you can see that we're even higher than we were back in 2016 and also back in 09. Now that means that either silver is very undervalued and it's going to go up in price, or potentially the precious metal market is just going to continue to go down. And the only reason that I think that might be the case is the weakness in gold that we're seeing, and also silver breaking this symmetrical triangle, which means that I would imagine, I spoke about this in other videos, that I've got targets from kind of $12 through down to 310 and down to this point here. So yeah, I can see further downside for silver, which means maybe this will go even higher. And even with gold going down, if this goes down more, but on a percentage basis. But back to this being an indicator, it's kind of interesting because you can see that every time we've reached this level, if you see this is lining up, we've had significant moves. In fact, either when it's overvalued or undervalued, there are big moves. And obviously, the last time we saw significant overvaluation was 2011, right here, which I'm not sure if we'll see that overvaluation again. That's quite a freakish spike to 32 ounces of silver per ounce of gold. But I think it's a fairly reasonable bet that we'll see it hit the 40s, which is around here, which is actually fairly similar to this kind of area here. So could this go higher? Yeah, I mean, silver could become even more undervalued or cheaper versus gold. But yeah, if it starts to go up, then we have something which is reflecting a historical movement, which is kind of like here and here. Normally it's quite violent, so you could, if you look at the points here, so silver went up here, silver had a little pop here, what's going to happen here? I mean, you can also argue that it was high here and silver just kind of went down. And yeah, if you go back all the way here to 2003, that's kind of when silver began a steady rise. You can't see that on the chart because it doesn't go that far back. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. It definitely indicates to me that there could be some moves sometime soon. And yeah, that's all I got to say. I don't know which way it's going to go. I mean, long term, I think it will go up, but this breaking down of this kind of symmetrical triangle here doesn't fill me with a huge amount of confidence, and gold is looking, well, weak as well, so it could be good opportunities here. But I'm most interested in buying silver simply because, or silver ETFs or physical storage for me in the EU, because silver is taxed at whatever the VAT is in the country that you're in. So for me, that's about 20%. So that's significant enough to make me use paper products rather than the physical. And obviously, with the physical, you have storage problems, which is something I cannot be bothered to deal with. So yeah, I mean, you can also play the ratio to, if you're in a country where you don't have to pay VAT, like the US, use the ratio to create more gold for yourself. So if you bought silver here in 10, and if you bought silver here and sold it here for gold, you would have been yeah, you would have been laughing. You would have made a lot more gold. That's only if you're interested in doing it that way. If you're only interested in actual monetary gains, then it's just to me it's just an interesting indicator of how the price can move and when it will move. So definitely another big move coming, I think. I mean, obviously no one knows what's gonna happen. It could just go sideways and things could be flat, but silver doesn't tend to just remain flat. It's quite a volatile asset. So yeah, just my thoughts on it. I don't know when I'll make another video on this because probably when it hits my targets. So yeah, cheers.